All right, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim wa ba'd. We're continuing with the second part. We're only going to go on for about 20, maybe 25, 30 minutes inshallah. And then we'll try to leave 15, 20 minutes for Q&A. And we'll see how we go with that bi'idhnillah ta'ala. So we ended off, we were talking about the needs that we have as human beings, as complete human beings. Physical, intellectual, rational, and spiritual. And we said that those needs, for us to find the greatest compatibility, there has to be, the higher your percentages of compatibility in all three of them, the greater your chances at having a happy and successful marriage. And I'm going to qualify those two words shortly, inshallah. Marriages and love works in different ways for different people. And one of the things that we will study early tomorrow is we're going to study that ayah in Surah Al-Rum where Allah talks about mawadda wa rahmah. He refers to Him sending a divinely sent compassionate love and a mercy that is put between spouses. And Allah uses two different things that kind of mix together. But if you think about them and analyze them, they're separate, which we will do tomorrow. You can have love for someone and you might not get along. And there's a lot of marriages where they love each other but don't like each other. It's weird. I love you, but I don't like you. Like, I love him so much, I can't leave him. But I don't like being with him. I don't like how he treats me, I don't know. You can also have a marriage that is built on rahmah without mawadda or love. I don't love him, but I'm there for the kids. I'm there because I have to be. There's financial considerations. We built a life together. We've been together for so long. We're making it work. It doesn't mean that that marriage is the best marriage, but it's a valid marriage. It's an acceptable marriage. The aim that we have is to actualize our greatest potential and to be able to hone our skills at developing our understanding of what will nurture us when the physical changes and the intellectual becomes strained and all of a sudden we have to rely on the spiritual. What happens when one of us spiritually loses touch with Allah a little bit? My husband isn't praying, Brother Yahya. I'm praying. My husband, he used to pray. I'm trying to move. What do I do now? Should I leave him? You get a lot of sisters. Should I divorce a man who doesn't pray? But he's a good man. He's good to the kids. He loves me. I love him. Right? How do we deal with when one of them is out of balance? Now, one of the things that becomes really central, and what we're going to begin, inshallah, this session with, is we're going to talk about keys to happiness. And there's 10 points that I want you to record, inshallah. These aren't in the notes. And the way I am as an instructor, I never read to you the notes. Like the book that's in front of you, that's your book. You can, take that and do whatever you want with it. There's lots of information there, hundreds of hadith, many verses of the Quran. But my discussion with you is a supplement to that. It's an appendix to that. So I hope and I encourage that you will take thorough notes, inshallah ta'ala. One of the first keys to success and keys to happiness is to understand that there's a difference between success and happiness. There's a difference between the metric, measurable concept of success. See, if I ask you, is this person successful? You might measure them by scales. They're successful financially. In their bank account, they have this much. This is the kind of car they drive. This is where they live. Are they educated? Yes, they graduated from this school and their GPA was that. They have this many degrees. Are they religious? Yes, I see them in the masjid often. It's metric, it's measurable, it's scalable. But you might look at someone from the outside who you think is successful. and could be successful on a metric scale, but you ask yourself, do they have happiness? And the answer might be no. Now, I want to give you the very furthest extreme, and you can Google this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our homes. In Perth last week, there was a medical doctor, a female, who was found guilty of manslaughter. Now, she was charged with culpable homicide, murder. But the jury found reason to bring down the charge from murder, not guilty, to manslaughter. She was a medical doctor who murdered her husband, another medical doctor. Now, by scales that most people have, and most people who came as witnesses, they said, we thought they were what? We thought they were happy. Both of them drive luxury cars, both of them have amazing careers, both of them have 2 wonderful children, both of them are fit and healthy, both of them have more money than they know what to do with it, but inside their home, there was abuse. And there was, as his wife alleges, he's not there to defend himself, there was sexual abuse, there was financial abuse, there was emotional abuse, and you would think that this medical doctor who should know, who probably would refer women who come to her clinic and tell her, I'm suffering this, she would say, you should go to this place and do this and do that and you can find help. But that person who is outwardly successful, inwardly was unhappy, unsuccessful. And one of the greatest dangers that we have is that the choices that we make based on a lifelong prospect, you want to marry this person, you want to live with him or her the rest of your life. They're going to be the father of your children, the mother of your daughters, they're going to be the person who you share a bed with, they are your most intimate partner in life. You would want that it's not just built on an illusion of outward success, but an attempt of finding inward happiness. The balance between success and happiness is a sirat al-mustaqim, the straight path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whenever you ask Allah and you make in your salah, 17 times a day, you say, Ihdina, lead me, O Allah, to the straight path. Look at the wording. Allah says, you're asking Allah to guide you to the path, not to walk the path. Because who has to walk the path? You. You have to make the decisions. You have to be the person who takes that step. Okay, I'm going to go this way. And I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to turn. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ I led you to this way. إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلِ We led them to the sabil, to the right path. Don't take that path. Don't follow the footstep of the shaitan. So you just want, in the word hidayah, it means finding the right path when there's confusion. It's dark and I don't know which way to go. This is the way. I just need an indicator and I will follow it. I will go the right way if I've afforded the chance. That's the concept of hidayah. It is self-driven. You ask Allah to guide you so that you say, oh Allah, give me the chance to show you what I will do if you just give me the chance. And that's why the Sahaba were so virulent. They were so amazing in what they did. They would be pointed in the right direction and then they would take off. Umar radiallahu anhu, from the day he became a Muslim till the day he breathed his last, he took off on that right path. Khalas. Just show me where it is and I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to look back. And what does it mean to look back? It's where you need to make tawbah. You stopped, you fell back, you turned back. Anibu ila rabbikum. Return back to the right way. Turn back around. What does the shaitan want? Yuridu shaitan and yudillakum. The word dalal is opposite of hidayah. Yudillakum dalalan ba'ida. The shaitan wishes to confuse you off that path far away. He wants you that you should be going north and you're all of a sudden east. You don't know which way. It's this way, but you're going that way. You're going the wrong way. And you don't know any better. So you make it that Allahumma hadina. So Allah points you back. No, it's not this way. Come back this way. Who has to walk at you? Ihdina. To what? As-sirat al-mustaqim. If you were to take a cross-section of that sirat, if you look down upon it, bird's eye view, it looks straight. But if you were to cross-section it, it's uphill. It's dhil ma'arij. Allah says, you have to ascend to Allah. This life is about climbing Everest. You have to climb up Al-A'raf. You gotta climb up. It's a straight path, but it's up, it's vertical, it's tough. Wallahi, it's tough. Sabr, Al-Imam Ibn Al-Qayyim, when he talks about patience, he says the greatest thing that a human being must have sabr for is a ta'ah, is doing good things. It is so difficult, ya akhi, to wake up. I don't know what Fajr. Fajr in Perth is 4:47, right? I don't know what it is. 6 o'clock here? Inshallah, you lazy people. Allahu Akbar. 6 o'clock, 6:02 is sunrise in Perth. Right? I've already, mashallah. So it's a good break anyway, 2 hours. Right? It's an ascent to Allah. إِلَى اللَّهِ لِلْمَعَارِجِ. Every day of every week, of every month, of every year, until death surprises you. No warning. You have to keep it up. Nothing is great. إِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ. Allah tells you in the Quran that salah, maintaining what's good, keeping on that path, إِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ. By Allah, it's an enormity. إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Except those who have humility to Allah, humble themselves to Allah Azza wa Jalla. So to do the good is very difficult. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. The word sirat, that straight path, is narrow. See, Allah confines us. The words of the Prophet ﷺ, see, happiness in life is not given so many opportunities. I have so much to choose from. Happiness is knowing what to choose and being happy to have made the right choice. The things that will make you the happiest in life is where you look back on the decision you made and you smile and say, Alhamdulillah. When you enter Jannah, وَقَالِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي صَدَقَنَا وَعَدَهُ. I made the right choice. I followed the promise of Allah. وَأَوْرَثَنَا الْأَرْضَ نَتَبَوَّأْ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ حَيْثُ نَشَاءُ. Alhamdulillah. وَنِعْمَ أَجْرُ الْعَامِلِينَ. Beautiful is that at the end of the day, you made it. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. The Quran wasn't revealed to put you in hardship. Meaning there's hardship in following the Quran, but that's not its purpose. It's a tadhkirah, a reminder, لمن يخشى, to the one whose heart is awake with the fear of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That's the one who benefits from the Quran. Who's the one who's going to know Sirat al-Mustaqim? Alif Lam Mim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. It's in this book. لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. There's no doubt or corruption in it. Hudan, it's a guidance for who? لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Not for everyone. It's a guidance for the one who comes with sincerity of heart. That's the one who's going to fall. There is that balance between success and happiness. The first of steps that we take to achieve, and the first keys of happiness, is to recognize that there will be moments in our life where we have to choose between outward success and inward happiness. And that they are not always mutually the same. Sometimes the prettiest girl is not the best one for you. Sometimes the most educated brother is not the right one for you. Sometimes the one who has that nice, mashallah, hair, no, he's not the one for you. Sometimes the one your heart wants is not written for you. Khalas. Sometimes what you think you want, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Perhaps you hate that something will happen. Perhaps you hate that you're broken up, that you never get married to that person. But that's what's better for you. وَلَأَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ. And a believing servant, a slave who's a believer, خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ, is better for you than an unbeliever who is a free woman. Better to be married to a slave than the one who you like and is free. but they don't believe in this one believes. Look at the words of Allah. Look at the context of Allah. Because no one wants to be married to a woman or to a man who's owned by others. Anyone would say, what kind of life is that? Allah says, that's better for you than the one you are choosing for yourself if you only knew. SubhanAllah. And therefore, the first key of finding happiness and success is to know that you will have to make difficult choices. And not because my heart wants, or not because it feels right. You know, sometimes you get this from the sisters. Brother, I don't know, it just feels right. MashaAllah. So we should just go on feelings now. Leave logic out of it, leave financial out. Does he have a job, sister? No. Does he have any money? No. Yani, what does he have? I have feelings. Right? Has to be more. Has to be more. He just knows what to say to me, brother. Yes. Right? That's the first, that we do have to make very difficult, calculated decisions, mature decisions, difficult decisions. Sometimes that we don't want them, but we have to make them. Number two is that we have to trust qadr, fate. Oh, that's tough, man. There's a lot of people, subhanAllah. It's difficult for me and for you to submit to Allah's authority. Qadr, qaddar Allahu wa ma sha'a fa'al. Look at the words of the Quran, look at the words of the Sunnah. Allah has determined this, and what He willed happens. Khalas. Qaddar Allah wa ma sha'a fa'al. This is what Allah determined. If the whole world comes together to give you something that Allah has not written for you, they cannot. If the whole world comes to restrict from you something that Allah has given you, it will come to you. No one can change that which is with Allah. Qadr is one of the keys of Iman. You do not believe in Allah if you do not believe that good and bad and what we perceive as good and what we perceive as bad are both equally from Allah and are both to be accepted equally by Allah Azza wa Jal, by us from Allah Azza wa Jal. Sometimes we have that resistance. One of the most powerful things that I've ever read for an Imam Ibn Qayyim, he says when a person is suffering, you know, sometimes you're in trouble and something hasn't gone your way. Could be financial, could be emotional, could be, you know, whatever it is. Could be health. And you find yourself struggling. And you ask Allah. And you receive silence. Nothing happens. Nothing changed. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Nothing. Allah then looks in your heart. Look at the words of Ibn Qayyim. At that moment, Allah looks in your heart. If you remain thankful for what Allah has given you other than this, Allah helps you. Allah removes your test. But if Allah finds in your heart tamarrud, rancor against Allah, I've only asked Allah for one thing. Why? Why has Allah not heard me? Why am I still in this situation? Why can't I find relief? I've asked, I've prayed, I've made. Nothing has changed. وَكِلْتَ إِلَى نَفْسِكَ. Once Allah sees in my heart, in your heart, may Allah protect us, Ya Rabb, that we're tested and we cannot come to terms that it is a test and we have to be patient, Allah leaves us in that condition in our own device. Khalas, you're on your own. Allah's help, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. He's with those who withhold and withstand with staunch patience. And therefore the Prophet says when qadr strikes, it is as sabru inda al-musibah. Patience must come at a moment of what we perceive as calamity. And all of it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you must trust qadr. You know, I was born and raised to Egyptian parents in Canada. My wife, she was born and raised to Turkish parents in Australia. Like, other side of the world. If you were to ask me, Yahya, when I was in university or high school, at any moment in my life when I was in Canada, hey, you're going to live in Australia, I'd say, where's Australia? Oh, perfect. I don't even know how to spell it. What is that word? I've never heard of that city. Never heard of, oh no, you're going to live there, your children will be born there, your wife is from there. What? Never. Qadar. It is qadar. You are driven from one place to the next to what Allah wants for you. Now there are three important things that relate to qadar. Two aspects of qadar are beyond you. They have nothing to do with who you are in life. The first aspect are the things that happen internally to you. In you, as you're sitting with me right now, may Allah protect all of us and give us long life. There are cells in our body that degenerate and become radicals, free radicals, moving around. Some of them we get out of our systems, others become cancerous. Some of us are genetically prone to illnesses that it doesn't matter what nutrition we take, what preventive measures we take, it is a part of the encoding within us that we will suffer certain things. Some of them could be mental health issues. Some of them could be, genetic issues, whatever it is. It is beyond you. You do not have a choice which country you would be born, to which parents, whether they would have wealth or not, whether they were Muslim or not. You had no choice what era in time. Could you imagine? Look how difficult it is to find a wife or a husband. Could you imagine if you had to choose your parents? No, I don't like this one. Could you imagine? None of those capital decisions. Up until you were 15, 16 years old, you had no choice. You were completely a robot to your parents' wishes. You moved where they made you move. Your dad had a job in Oman, you're in Oman, in Qatar, and khalas. No, don't go to this school, go to this school. Change this class, go to this, khalas. All of a sudden, you become, mashallah, an adult. And then you become a real robot. You think to yourself, oh no, now I'm free. No, you're not. I have to pay rent. I have to feed the kids. I have to get a job. So all of a sudden, people were working for you, now you're working for others. Qadar. The capital decisions in your life, the conditions of your life that you choose from amongst were all predetermined to you. The second element of qadar is not just what happens within you and the parts of who you are, but what happens to you. You could be standing at a bus stop, you haven't done anything wrong. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us. You get hit by a wayward car or a motorcycle or anything happens, you break a leg. You didn't do anything wrong. You weren't in the wrong place. No, you were in the right place for the right thing to happen to you. It had nothing to do with your choice. And there are things that happen to us in life in that capacity that are beyond us. But in both of those circumstances, the third aspect of qadar is what you and I are accountable for, which is our reaction to them. You married someone and she or he were not what you thought. How do you react? What do you do with it? Do you continue in inspiring to that which pleases Allah? Do you what is the reaction to the qadar, the fate? The person that I wanted is married to someone else. How do I react to the qadar, to the fate that I find myself in today? All of those become very significant in finding happiness in the heart. You would be surprised how many people will write and say, brother, alhamdulillah, there's a sister or there's a man, now we're getting into a serious place, he's met the family, but I can't forget 2 years ago, Romeo, mashallah. He's not in my life, I know he's moved on, but I find myself, I keep thinking, Allahu Akbar. Qadar. Trust your qadar. The brother's very good, I don't know why I'm scared. I don't know if I say yes, how do I know it's not going to be the wrong person? Trust your qadar, trust your fate. Trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do your part. The third aspect, and I'm going to end with this inshallah, we'll finish the other 7 tomorrow inshallah, where we talk about the keys of happiness and success. The third aspect is working for qadar. You don't just sit down on that nice comfy chair and say, okay, qadar, hit me. Where is she? She's here somewhere. The Shaykh said, one light in 1,000, where's that light? Turn off the light, brother, I want to see that light. Where is she? I can't see the light. La, you got to work. You got to put in effort. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. You got to put your part and have tawakkul in Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? And the best way I thought to explain this concept is to talk about istikhara, because I know that there is so many people who don't understand the dua of istikhara. Many people assume, a brother or sister will say, there's this one and then there's this one. So I'm going to make istikhara. Oh Allah, show me which one. La. That's not istikhara. That's dua al-haja. You're asking for help. Dua al-istikhara is that you've already made a choice. I want you to understand this. Dua al-istikhara, it's not, you're going to see some movie kind of dream. One auntie, she said, Sheikh, we did istikhara yesterday, we didn't see anything. I go, see where? What were you looking for? She said, aren't we supposed to see a dream? I said, no. She said, I said, what kind of dream? She said, if he's the right one, we'd see him sitting on the moon. MashaAllah. Big moon. I said, wow, what if he's the bad one? She said, he'll be on a boat sailing away. I said, okay, does the boat drown? Under waterfalls? And no, it just sails away. I said, no. Istikhara is not choosing between two things. In life, you will have many options. Istikhara is by you doing due diligence. You take everything into circumstance. Should I take this job or not? What are the pros? This. What are the cons? This. No, I think I'm going to take this job. It's the right job. You made a decision. From everything, from all the information you have, should I marry this brother? Should I not? This. He's good. I'm going to do it. Now I ask Allah. In my heart, I believe this is the right thing to do. You make a good wudu, and you pray 2 rak'ah, and either in the salah or after the salah, 2 different riwayah. In the salah or after the salah, you say, Allahumma inni astaghfir. You can Google it. Okay? Google it. Just the dua, not the sharh. Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmika wa astakhiruka bi-qudratik. The Sahaba used to make dua al-istikhara even for purchasing shoes. How does that work? It's not as to the black one or the red one. Which one should I take? No. What it meant was, I'm going to buy this. Oh Allah, if this is going to have barakah for my life, I think it's the right one, I'm going to go buy it tomorrow. And he would make dua al-istikhara. He goes to the shop the next day, the shoe is sold. Someone else bought it. Khalas. That's the answer to the istikhara. Allah turned it away. Right? You ask Allah, Allahumma inni, oh Allah, I ask you by the knowledge you have I don't have, and the power you possess that I don't possess. If this thing, if this man, if this woman, if this job, if this shoe is good for me like I think it is, let it happen. If it is not, turn it away from me, oh Allah. That's it. If you wake up in the morning, you go to Foot Locker, the shoe's still there, Bismillah. If they run out of the size, don't go chasing back. Can you call up the other store? Khalas. Allah sarafaha annak. Allah turned the car away from you. You were going to buy a car, the next day you call, oh, someone already put a deposit. Khalas. Don't say, oh, I'll give you an extra 200. La. Take that, and that's why it comes with belief in qadar. All of a sudden, if this is the right job, all of a sudden you go and I'm going to interview for it, and then you get to the interview and you don't feel it didn't work out. Khalas. Allah turned it away from you. The answer to the istikhara is that the person, I should marry him, and I asked Allah, should I or shouldn't I? And we got married. That means Allah wanted this for you. Even if you end in divorce, this was what was best for you. The divorce was what was best for you. This whole process, I've asked Allah, and Allah showed me what is best for me in life. Khalas. Everything that comes from it, I don't come and say, I wish I never did it. No, Allah was a part of my final decision. So Allah becomes the seal of approval for you to receive what you're asking for or not. And that's how you work for istikhara. وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا. Allah says in the Quran, tell them work, put effort, put energy. فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ. Allah sees what you do. وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. The messenger and the believers, all of us are witness to the deeds of each other. Do what is right. Help one another to what is good. وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Assist one another in the good things. You help this brother get married. Allah sends someone to help you get married. You help that sister's daughter get married. Allah sends someone for your daughter to get married. You taught someone the Quran. Allah sends someone to teach your children the Quran. Right? This is the concept that we think about assistance of one another. That this is the overarching statement that relates to the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Tomorrow, inshallah, for those of you who will be bright and early, what time do we start? 10. 10. What is this about? Fajr at 6 o'clock. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. All right. 10 o'clock it is, inshallah. But for me, 10 is what? 10 is 10. Huh? Yeah. 10 is 10. I have a habit of always finishing early. So we probably will not finish 7. We'll probably finish 6:30, inshallah, to give you time to get home before Maghrib. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. But for those of you who will continue with me, our first point of discussion tomorrow will be to continue with these keys of success and link them to the ayah of love and rahmah, which is in Surah Al-Rum. And I do hope that you will join me for there. For those of you who haven't signed up yet or are going to do it now, make sure you hurry up, inshallah, because either we'll be in this room or the bigger room, depending on sizes and so on, but I think this room, inshallah. It's cozy. It feels good.
It's going to be on waiting list.
Huh?
It's going to be on waiting list.
There's waiting list, okay. First come, first serve, inshallah. Hopefully we see all of you there tomorrow, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala carries you home safely. Now those of you who don't want to stay for the next 10 minutes Q&A, try to leave quietly, but if you would like to stay, I'd love to have you with us, inshallah. Just 5-10 minutes of Q&A, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Any questions thus far? There's always juicy ones. Nothing. It's either I did a really, really good job, so there's no questions, or I did a really bad job and you just want to get out of here. It's like, man, what a waste of time. Nothing? Everyone's tired? Yes, sister. Just throw it up there. Yeah. No. 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 Wallahi, jazakallah khair. It's a wonderful question. The sister says we spoke about the good one and the bad one. The good one is matched with the good one, and the bad one is matched with the bad one. And the sister says, what about Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun? And that's why we spoke about qadr. Sometimes we're tested with things. Now, and we said that it's not the breaking of the rule, but it's an exception to the rule. And Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun, is therefore used as a standard for you and I in how to model ourselves in times of difficulty. Listen to her dua. قالت رب ابن لي عندك بيتا في الجنة. Oh Allah, build for me a place in Jannah. ونجني من and save me from Fir'aun. And the word save me means she couldn't release herself from him, right? She couldn't release herself from his tyranny. And we know that he brought about her murder. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to meet her and to be with her in Jannatul Firdaus. She is one of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, according to the statement of some of the Sahaba from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So it's not an exception to the rule. It's an exception to the rule, but it doesn't break the rule. In general, those of us who experience hardships in life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala partners us up with the right person in the right time. For those who excel in the likes of Asiya, their partnership becomes in Jannah. So just like she is given the worst of people in the dunya, she is given the best of people in sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Just like Maryam alayhi salam had no husband in life, she is given Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Jazakallah khair. Any other questions from the... Okay, I'm going to close. What other questions? No questions? Cookies? Should we give up cookies? The brother's saying give up the hard cookies. Brother, you're already married. Khalas. Give them up? We'll give them up tomorrow, inshallah. And will they last till tomorrow? Inshallah they will. Yeah, okay, there's a question. Fadal. Now. Now.
So what I see here is some of the people I know that really strive for it and care how it gets one so bad, yeah.
No.
It doesn't happen, it really brings them up. I think brings them out.
Inshallah, the brother is asking, just for those who might not be able to hear, he says, for those of us who strive for qadar, he says that he's seen in his personal experiences some people who will do whatever they have, they go to the ends of the earth to try to make that qadar happen. Even if it means that they have to do the wrong thing and all of that. Now, of course, that is unacceptable. And one of the lessons that we're going to talk about tomorrow is knowing when to quit. Knowing when to not become a stalker. Right? It's very important. Knowing when to, back off. If you're waiting for her to come out of university and you're following in the car, too far. Right? So we will talk about how people go too far. SubhanAllah, some people, they go too far. And we will talk about Umar radiallahu anhu, where, he was going to visit Damascus, and an epidemic of a ta'un, tuberculosis, and an infection began to spread throughout the city. And Abu Ubaidah, he wrote to Umar, and he said, come visit. And Umar said, look, we heard about what's happening there. There's a plague. So I'm just asking the Sahaba, anyone heard of a hadith? And Abdul Rahman ibn Abd al-Hadith al-Bukhari, he said, yes, سمعت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I heard the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم say that if you hear of an outbreak in a city, don't enter it. And if you're in it, don't leave it until everyone begins to get well. So Umar made the decision, I'm not going to visit you. And Abu Ubaidah wrote a scathing letter. He said, أَتَفِرُّ مِنْ قَدَرِ اللَّهِ. Do you seek to run away from what Allah decreed? Meaning, are you afraid of death? So Umar said, أَفِرُّ مِنْ قَدَرِ اللَّهِ إِلَى قَدَرِ اللَّهِ. He said, I leave one qadar to my other qadar. And you and I, all of us, we have multiple qadars that we choose from. Allah knows eventually which qadar we will choose. But that concept of it can only be this. I have to do it. There's no such a way of making a decision other than I'm committed, it's too far gone. No. And knowing when to pull back, when we've hit our head in the brick wall too much, when it's not working, when the business is failing, when that marriage is not going to be successful, when divorce becomes necessary, and we just try to push and push and push. No, there's a point where we have to say, this is qadr from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will study where the limitations are tomorrow, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. We've had a question from the brothers and the sisters, so there's balance. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I look forward to seeing all of you inshallah tomorrow. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us barakah in our days and our nights and carry you home safely. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There's just a small announcement from Ammar. If you just give him 1 minute inshallah. Allah barak.
Inshallah quickly, I just have a few announcements. Number one, instantaneous